fly I want to tie today, I call it the Mighty Ant. It's a foam kind of flying ant pattern that I have tied for many, many years now. Used it when I was guiding down on the Elk River and was really successful on cutthroats. For the longest time, I considered it a cutthroat fly, but then I tried it on the Bow River and I tried it on some of my other favorite creeks, the Crow's Nest River and some of my brown trout streams that I fish, and found out that they all like it. So it has become one of my favorite searching flies that I use when there's no hatch going on. Even on the Bow River during hopper time, I'll put a hopper on, and then I'll 3 feet out further, I'll put one of these ants on as a point fly, and they catch fish as well. So it's also what I really like about it. It's one of my 2-minute flies. I've got a series of flies that I tie there. I call them 2-minute flies that you can crank out in literally in a couple minutes once you get going. So over time here, I will show you the series of 2-minute flies that I have. But the first one is called the Mighty Ant. And in the vise, I have this is a standard dry fly hook, Chemco 100 BL in size 10. I tie these in size 10s, 12s, and 14s. And we're just going to coat the entire hook shank with some black thread. And the body of this fly is just going to be some 2mm black sheet foam, closed cell sheet foam. Floats all day. Really great stuff for dry flies. And what I want to do is I'm just going to come up here and knock these front corners off this a little bit, and it just kind of makes for a bit more of a rounder looking head when you get finished tying this. So I'm going to tie this so it's just proud of the eye of the hook. Or it can be just even if you want as well. And we're going to tie that on back here right above the point where, if there was a barb in this hook, that's where we would be tying it on, but it's barbless. So we're going to tie it on back here, make sure it's lashed on there pretty good, and you have to make sure that you have done a good job of coating the hook shank. And then we're going to come up right behind the eye of the hook, and we're going to tie it in up there as well. And that forms the head on this fly. Then what we need to do is we need to wrap back down over that foam a little bit here. And we need to form a little flat platform in there that we can tie on a wing and wrap some hackle. And that also forms the center part of the body of this fly. And back here we can cut it off in length slightly longer than the thorax of this fly, I guess. Do ants have thoraxes? For the wing on this, I'm going to use, it's called poly post wing, put out by the Wapsie company, and it looks very similar to polypropylene yarn, but you can see it's much thinner. And if you've ever tried to separate this polypropylene yarn to use half it or a third of it, it's really difficult. I also find that this poly post wing is actually brighter white than this white stuff is, so it's easier to see. And we're going to tie on a piece of this poly post wing up here to represent the wing on this flying ant. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it in there, and I'm going to tie it on with, I'll use about 3 wraps. Then I fold that back over itself, take 2 or 3 wraps over that to hold it back, and then we're going to slide this up here. And you have to remember that stuff kind of rebounds, and you pull it out, it's straight. When you cut it off, it kind of will rebound down a little bit, get crinkly again. So you need to make sure you give yourself some length on that wing. The next step then is to tie in some hackle. And I just use grizzly hackle here just to represent some legs on this fly. I don't think you really need extra flotation with that foam. I've tried rubber legs, I've tried all kinds of other things. I still prefer just this grizzly hackle tied in here as for legs on this fly. And you don't need a whole bunch of turns. 2 or 3 is probably all you need. There's 3 right there, and we'll just tie that off. Now these size 10s like this one, a little bit bigger, and I like to have the wing a little bit long on it, maybe just so that we can see this fly, because we fish it from the boat quite a bit, particularly on the Elk River. When we're floating, we want to be able to see that fly. So we use these size 10s fishing from the boat. Quite often when I'm out walking and wading, I will use a size 12 or a 14. So we'll just put a whip finish on. I usually just put it right behind that head. If you want, you could come out underneath and do it right behind the eye of the hook. I don't bother. So we'll just slide our scissors down in there. So the last thing we need to do on this fly then is take it out of the vise, and we're just going to trim the abdomen of this fly down a bit. We're just going to come in here and take a couple of long angle cuts up each side, just to give it more of a tapered ant look shape at the bottom end there for a better silhouette. And there is the mighty ant. Great fly. I probably use this as much as any other dry fly over the course of a season now.